You don't even drink coffee.
Oh yeah, like a milkshake or.
Oh, you don't milkshake. Oh.
You don't want to say a milkshake thing.
This includes venues as well, so when you go out, get that rig out before you get kicked out. That's something I live by.
Because I know we'd go to horse camps and you'd meet everyone, and then everyone you want to keep in touch with. You'd get on MSN and then...
You want to readdress that?
What?
What kind of camps are you going on?
Anyway, week of a lifetime. It was absolutely massive. I was all over the place, driving hours
Didn't
and
you
hours
just
a day.
do your weekly update?
Well, that was not it. Mate, it's 4:57. This is a record. This is the earliest we've ever been for a pod.
Yeah, mind you,
Right.
I had to be the villain though.
Oh,
Obviously,
what?
Yeah, I don't know if you folks can tell, but I've pretty much lost my voice for like the last 10 days. It has been so tough.
Mate,
And-
10 days. You're right. You've lost your voice for too long, I think.
Yeah,
Longer than you typically lose your voice. I think you might have some like actual serious issue happening.
Yeah, well, I felt like I had a chest infection originally, and then the next day, like my chest was fine, but I lost my voice. And then I was like, and then that's sort of the only symptom I've had for about 10 days now. 10 days today. And obviously I was like, well, we can't push the pod back any further. We gotta just do it. I'm just gonna have my audio process in charge of pumping up that volume so that everybody can hear me. But I had to turn down going to the pub. After work.
Going to the pub.
Yeah.
That sucks, man.
Well, for one of the boys' birthdays. So,
sorry.
Yeah,
man,
there's
sorry,
some
jumped to conclusions
legitimacy.
there. Whose birthday is it? That might change things.
Shout out to Jordan.
Shout out Jordo.
Yeah. I was like, what's the point of me going to the pub? No one's going to hear me. Like, it's so, and it just hurts to yell.
And if the conversation isn't centered around me, then it's boring, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm like, how can they have a good night if they know the main character is just not actually playing the game?
Thanks for soldiering on and being here for us. I've got some news for you, some industry news actually. I've got a feeling the Rogues are going to go crazy for your voice, mate. I used to be / occasionally still am a radio producer, and I worked with this really great, fantastic presenter. Her name's Sheridan. Shout out Sheridan, huge Roger as well, massive Roger. And she would, she'd come on, she'd speak, she has a great voice, etc. But on the days she was sick or croaky or husky, man, the deranged phone calls I would get.
Really?
Oh, mate, just blokes calling up being like, oh, Sheridan sounds great today. Probably shouldn't use her name, actually. I might have to bleep that out. But yeah, they loved her voice, especially when she was husky. So who knows, Dos, you could get the boys in the DM saying, mate, love the voice, absolutely love the voice. Because I've got a feeling that's probably what will happen.
Yeah, I've had a few positive feedbacks already.
Oh, listen to you. You're playing it down. You reckon you sound hot. That's why you're on.
I love it, mate. It gives me an edge. I've been missing an edge lately, so I feel like I'm a country boy again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like I've just come off the farm and, my throat's all dusty. We've got red dirt in it, and that's why it's just a bit husky.
I love that for you, man. I love that role playing for you. Well, meanwhile, in my world, that was your, really spicy weekly update. Thanks for explaining your voice. I'd like to introduce...
Better back it up now.
the world's youngest Rogar. And this is a huge accomplishment. This is something that's never actually been done. A Rogar that was so young, he pretty much spent his entire time in the womb listening to the pod vicariously through his mum and dad. So here's someone with infused Rogar energy. This is an experiment, actually. We've never seen someone that has followed the Rogue Guide from fetus, right?
I think we have, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like our mean master Jen. He's youngin'.
Well, he didn't claim it, so... actually, let's pit them against each other. George versus Levi. Yeah. Shout out to George, the world's youngest Rogar. Congratulations to my sister and her husband, Joel, the homie. I know in previous episodes I said that don't want to see pictures of anyone's kid. It's boring. Keep it to yourself. The odd picture, love it. But Joel and Caitlin said they wouldn't do it. And I know they're listeners, so they'll probably hear this. they said they wouldn't do it, but they are spamming pretty hard.
Oh,
Like,
already started.
they just, everyone thinks they're not going to be that parent. I'm not
Yeah.
going to spam people. Who cares, sort of thing. But then as soon as you
Yeah.
get a kid, or as soon as you get a dog, or as soon as you get something you're happy about, you start spamming. And do you know what? Maybe we were too hard on those people. You might not come around, for me here, but I'm loving the spam at the moment. Can't get enough, and I react to every little thing. But maybe it's still fresh for me as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like if I see a good sunset, I'll spam it. Sometimes the basic stuff is worth, shoving down people's throats on the different platforms.
There's so much sadness and struggle in the world. Maybe we
Yeah.
should just get spammed by things people are actually proud of and want to share.
Yeah. I deciding whether or not I want to fight this fight. I just don't know if I'm fully committed to.
All right, let's pause it. We've already been down this road once. This is the second time. We can revisit it when you've had time to digest this. Speaking of things you never want to revisit, Dos, and this is something that I will never revisit. Actually, Matt, you mentioned it. Never again, would you believe? Will I revisit today's road guide topic, which is the road guide to breakups. Now, this is something that I presume all the roguers have experienced before, all being highly successful socially, capable of personal hygiene, and capable of, attracting a male or female to be their partner. Presumably, you've also had a breakup. And presumably, as well, the first time you went through this without listening to the road guide, you might have struggled a bit more than you should have. Don't worry, Dos and I are here. I've been through 1.5 breakups. So I've been through one genuine relationship breakup after a couple of years, which was it sort of came down to it. It was semi-mutual. Possibly I pulled the trigger, but I'll mention why that's important later on. But the other one I did was, she technically broke up with me. The only problem was, that in her mind there was no relationship. There was nothing happening. So there was no breakup. But to me, there was. And it was soul
want to touch
crushing.
on that point as well.
Go for it, Dos.
I for the sake of this, I believe situationships can still be breakups.
Yes.
I've had a few of them. But for me though, I fall hard and I fall fast. After 1 week, I'll be emotionally invested. I will be all in. And when they do end up going south, it hurts. It really, really hurts.
Dos, just quickly, I'll interrupt there. You've got a lot of friends, special friends that have tuned into the road guide over the period of time that we've been broadcasting. Yeah. I wonder if they will agree that you fall hard. And is falling hard different to committing hard, or is that two completely separate things?
I reckon that's a whole different sort of topic, because there's you just got arguments on either side, and I've adapted the way I've lived my life because of that, because I know I fall hard so quick, and I've learned not to commit straight away, because
this is therapy, dude. This is therapy.
I gotta wait for them to get on my level to see if it's if it's actually compatible.
Right, that sounds like self-sabotage, because maybe they're waiting for you to get on their level, and you just fall apart.
I've been in these trenches long enough to understand how I can protect myself whilst also putting myself out there.
Yeah, Dos, we definitely count situationships. Absolutely, been down that road, and it hurts, really hurts. So, what can you do as a roguer to get through a breakup the smoothest, least emotionally stressful way possible? Well, step number 1, you need to be the one to do the breaking up. Don't be the breakupee. That way, there's a total element of surprise. All of a sudden I'm being dumped, heartbreaking stuff. What you actually want to do is strike first. Even if you do self-sabotage yourself a little bit, you might even end a relationship prematurely. It's better than feeling the pain of being broken up with and being caught off guard. So step number 1, no matter how much it hurts, you got to be the one that breaks up. Because if you're not, then it's a world of hurt, and you'll just make your life so much easier if you break up first. Also, I just quickly add, Danny, if you're listening to this, this was Dos's idea, this segment, this episode idea. This is not a forecast, or this is this is totally unrelated, and I would never break up with you.
Who do you think asked me to do the road guy? I'd break up.
No! And she walks in the door. Dan, I've got a surprise for you. No!
It's out there.
All right.
Yeah,
Step
well,
one, for sure.
step 2 sort of flows from that. I should take more notes for step 1 because I don't think I've done much breaking up.
I think you've done a lot more than you realise to
No,
people
no, no.
that maybe were a lot more invested than you think they were.
Yeah, but that's not breaking up. Like,
You just said situationships count. I
Yeah.
guarantee you've
No,
broken
no,
up
no.
a lot of situationships.
I'm not as bad as you think, man. Well, this is my step. Like,
You can't have it both ways. You can't tell Jen and I that you're, Mr. Fantastic and all the ladies love you, and then be like, I'm just a victim here.
this is my chance of pity, man. Let me have it.
Okay, go mate. No accountability here.
No, okay, man. No, so it's simple. Step 2 is just be honest from the get-go. So I've no matter what the situation is, and this is something I sort of lived by, because you have to live by it, especially if you live my sort of life. When I just gotta think of how to word this.
If you think I'm cutting this, then you're absolutely tripping. This is staying in. I'm not cutting this.
I haven't even said anything yet.
I've just bought you some time. Go for it.
Realistically, this is more going back to the point where you're like, I've been in situationships and not realised it. I just want to address that. And I don't think I have, because I've been honest from the get-go when it sort of gets to that point as well, when it's like, is this a situationship? Is this progressing to something? I'll straight away just be honest from the cuff. I don't lead anyone on. I'm pretty honest from the get-go. There's probably the odd one or two that sort of, things is miscommunication and all the rest of it. Or, no, hold up. Or, I'm hoping things will further develop and then they just don't. Then you just got to be honest when that happens, all right? Just clarify. But then at the same time, in the end, if you're the one breaking up with them, if we're following step 1, you just got to be super honest with the reasons. Do not be a coward and just be like, look, I just want to work on myself right now. My favourite that I've been hearing a bit lately.
Wait. Sorry, are you still going? Are you still talking?
That was the... People are learning listening to this. I've actually gone with some really in-depth
I'm sorry, but I've
here.
seen memes posted in by Rogers of Dan taking the high road and giving boring responses. This is killing me. Keep going though. Get your step up, but Jesus.
My other favourite one is not the, it's me, it's not you. I want to focus on my career. It's such a cowardice response. Just be honest. Just be like, look, I'm not feeling an emotional connection. And it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them hearing that. But it's going to hurt them a hell of a lot less over a long time.
They've probably heard the career 1.5 million times.
Oh, yeah, just be honest. Be like, look, Hayden, you gave me the ick. You're annoying as hell. You stupid podcast where you just chat shit about me. Just be honest. And I can deal with it. I'll be like, all right, she's not a roger. She doesn't deserve me.
Well, Dos, the reason why I call it a boring step was because I totally agree with it. I think it's a great point. And I think it's an important one. But step 3. Now, this is the tough one. This is something that I personally can vouch for, living in Longreach, which is the edge of the earth. When you get broken up with, or you break up, probably if you get broken up with, you need to just disappear off the face of the earth. You need to go deep into something that you care about, or you need to travel so far away from people and just sort of not post, not necessarily flex, not necessarily try and, drum up this illusion of a good life. You need to really just disappear, because the person that you thought loved you more than anyone else in the world, and that you loved more than anyone else in the world, suddenly didn't care about you. So who's to say that your so-called friends and your so-called family don't feel the exact same way about you? So you need to test who really cares. Get away, disappear, possibly start trickling in some photos of some really sketchy, low standard of life type stuff. Get people a little bit worried about your well-being. The ones that check in and message, And the ones that check in and message, not just for gossip, because those people do exist, don't really care, just want the juice. But the ones that check in and care and maybe fly to Venezuela to see you, or maybe, come out to Longreach, or maybe they start doing your obscure hobby or playing your weird game, those are the ones that matter. And cut everyone else off, because they're just going to break up with you as well. You need to trust no one, even if it means, like I said, self-sabotaging yourself a little bit.
I feel like you're preaching a lot of self-sabotage here. First
Mate, there's nothing like just
break up
cut
with
and
them.
loose.
Just break up with them.
And if you do get broken up with, kill
just
yourself.
run.
Die. Just like fake it.
Just, make some scary, situations that people like got to reach out to you. I don't know. I'm in disclaimer on these steps, man. Mine is so much more like in depth. This is.
That's because you haven't felt the true wonder of love, mate. You don't know how much it hurts.
Oh, you take that back. Do you know how many times I've left overseas chasing love, or it's not ended well for me. I reckon I've copped it the worst. But when you've copped it, step 4, you got to channel it into something. Don't let that experience sort of be wasted. You want to learn from things. The most obvious one is channel it into fitness, to gym, get in shape. You want to
Revenge bod.
You always got to win the breakup. You got to win, like no matter what. So that's why I don't really agree with step 3, because you disappear. You can't win the breakup if you're not there shoving your great life down their throat on social media.
It's about making sure that the people whose great life you're shoving down their throats actually matter. And to do that, you need to disappear off the face of the earth. Then step 4, show those people that you actually rock and you're awesome. And then
okay. So you're saying you need to win to the people closest to you.
Exactly, mate. Not win to the plebs, because the plebs are the ones that broke your heart.
The ones closest to you are always there, though.
Are they?
You need to be, yeah.
Are they? Did you just get broken up with someone that was closest to you? What's going on, Doss? That doesn't make sense.
They're never the closest. They're never the ones that they haven't been with you for 10 years until they have been there for 10 years, mind you.
Now Danny really needs to stop listening to this. Doss asserting himself on the pecking order.
Yeah, who's been there the whole time? I have. I do my years in the trenches.
Not these fair weather fiancés.
Yeah, these blow-ins. Well, I think that should be step 5. I think step 5 should be to win the breakup. You got to win. If you lose it, you got to make sure that who you end up with next is better than who you were with.
And Doss, is that why you haven't ended up with anyone else? Have you peaked after your first true love?
I'm starting to think I might have peaked.
Whoa.
I'm starting to think.
Hectic.
Yeah, I need to. No, I just need to keep channeling it. I'm still at step 4. I think that might be it. Yeah, actually, that might be it. See, step 4 can go for a while. Step 4 could be a 2-year-long channeling of harnessing that energy. Yeah, because you got to win. You might be 40 years old and you're still winning that first breakup that you've ever had. Like, I'm losing my high school breakup. Do you remember? Yeah. So the girl that I dated in high school, that I broke up with, she went on to be like a professional surfer, lawyer, and now she's got a husband and a kid, and the husband's taller than me as well, which is my only thing. I was like, no.
Does he look like you?
He's probably better looking, to be honest. I'm just assuming that now.
That's a worldwide loss, dude.
Yeah, man, I don't think I can come back to that one. I don't think I can pip that one. But you can't always win it. You just got to try and win as many as you can.
Hey guys, it's Dan here from the future in the editing booth. Just letting you know that we've cut 15 minutes of pure, unadulterated waffle from this episode. So we're jumping straight from the end of the road guide into the big call. Thanks for your understanding.
I'd like to introduce Izzy Coppo, our friend from Longreach, but from America, to the pod. This is for the big call. Izzy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. As Dan said, I'm from America. Don't hold it against me. I am from a state called Maine up north. It's So, Dan and I used to be friends because I used to be a big Tom Brady fan due to the Patriots. But of course, that's since changed. But, I still said I'd come
like
around.
The friendship or the
Yeah,
Tom
she's
Brady?
one of those Patriots fans that turned off Tom Brady. But admittedly, now's a good time to be off Tom Brady because of the whole crypto scams thing.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, no, in all seriousness, I moved out here as a backpacker, and then I fell in love, and so I just kind of hang out in Longreach, and my husband and I have a business. We're Sparkies, or he's a Sparky, and yeah. I don't really know what else to say about myself.
Bit of a real estate mogul in the making. Got an Airbnb.
Yes, I have an Airbnb. That's
In
about the
Longreach?
extent of my in Longreach. Yep.
There you go.
And Kangaroo Paw Cottage. I'll go ahead and,
Shout
and
out.
plug that. Shameless plug.
Does it have its own
Kangaroo Paw.
Instagram?
It does have its own Instagram.
I
No,
swear,
does.
50% of the houses in Longreach have their own Instagram.
Well, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Dan copied me. Thank you very much. Just kidding, Dan.
Very debatable. No, it's true. We were seconds to the party. But this is the big call, Izzy, where you come on, you tell us the situation in your life where you had to make a big call. You'll tell us all the way up to the moment you made your choice, and we'll jump in, let you know what we would have done, and then you'll tell us what you did. Sure. Izzy, what was a time in your life when you had to make a big call?
All right, so Dan kind of threw me under the bus by asking me to do this 2 hours ago. So I've been racking.
Like all great guests.
Yeah, I've been racking my brain. So I guess I'll just take it back. Oh gosh, it'd be years and years and years ago now, when I had just started seeing somebody. Just started seeing this person.
Do they want a shout out?
Yeah, they're a huge rocker.
I won't give them a shout out. I don't want to embarrass them. Try to keep it kosher. But so just started seeing this person, and it was going well. Liked him. It was fine. Having a great time. Just living life, careless, carefree. Anyway, so I'm seeing him, and about 2 weeks into that, you couldn't even call it a relationship yet. We're hanging out by the river, and he asked me if I would like to move in with him. And
Wait. You 2 weeks. You've been on, from your first day to this point is 2 weeks.
yes, exactly. Right.
Oh, I love this guy.
Yeah, so he asked if I want to move in with him, and I was taken aback because, so mind you, I had never lived with a partner before. I had never gone to that level. I was 22. This is embarrassing, but I hadn't even lived with other people outside of a college dorm. It was dorm and my parents in hostels. That was about it. So he asked me to move in with him, and I was just pretty stunned. And I guess this is the moment where I make my decision. So I guess this is when I stop talking.
Well, Dos, this is an interesting one for you because you were just saying that you fall fast and you fall hard.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It is,
That was talked about today.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
The topic for today was breakups. So,
Called out, Dos.
Yeah.
the girl that you're into and you're falling for, out of the blue, says, "Let's move in together." You don't have too much experience. Do you fall hard enough to take the bait on that one?
Oh, let me think. Shit, nearly, man. Nearly. Yeah. Yeah, I think...
Do you know what? I'll jump in. I'll be honest. I think Danny and I moved in fairly early. I think it might have been maybe 8 weeks at the most.
Jeez.
So it's 2 months. That's still
You
pretty
knew
quick.
each other
Just after
before
7
that, though,
months.
didn't you?
Pardon?
You knew each other before that, or is that included?
Yeah, admittedly, we had worked together for a few weeks, but I'm still, if I'm really keen on someone, that's the question though. How keen were you on this person?
Okay, I was pretty keen. I'll admit, but that's a big step. Living with somebody, you can be super keen, but you don't know if you're going to be compatible in each other's space. You could end up hating each other quickly.
Yeah.
So.
Were you...
I'm going to pull the
were you
trigger on
in
this, and I'm going to say, I would have moved in. if I was really keen, I would have thought to myself, we're inevitably going to move in. Why not now? I'm only messing with you because it's a serious thing. And I'm presuming it was potentially a serious thing. And I would have moved in. And that's a bit of a red flag. But luckily, I've got my fiance locked down. Yeah. So, so I don't have to worry about moving in the future.
I think it differs. I'm going to be the serious Sally here. I think it differs because if you have a lease, then it becomes a proper decision. If you're like living at home, or I don't know, you're in transition or something, or just in like a month to month or something, you have that flexibility where you could move in, and there's not much risk factor.
Yeah.
If you're picking up what I'm putting down.
This person owned their house.
Ooh.
Yeah. Were you renting at the time?
No, I was just floating in life.
Yeah, then I'm floating into that household, baby. I'm coming in hot. Yeah, I think the only thing that would bring any hesitancy to me jumping in there, going all in, fuck it. I was probably the one that asked this question anyway, to make a move in 2 weeks. But if I was on the receiving end, then yeah, I'd probably jump at it. You sink or swim. You know, you either fall for it or you don't. You'll find out pretty quick.
Limit test early. Limit test really early. Skip all the BS. Move in. See their darkest side. Decide whether or not, and move on from there.
Find out what bad habits they have. You know, my mum still holds it against my dad that when they first moved in together, my dad used to take naps, and she was just like gobsmacked.
That was a red flag for your mum?
That's a red flag for me. Whoa. Yeah. Huge red flag. I'm sorry, but my poor partner doesn't get many naps.
I don't nap, so I'm not going to say I don't
nap either. If I nap, there's something wrong with me. I am sick, or someone's died if I'm napping.
Jesus.
I got too much life to live.
Someone's dead, you take a nap.
I did not realise naps were a red flag. I thought they were cute.
They're a red flag for sure.
All right, so Izzy, sounds like Dos and I are simps and we'd move in straight away. What did you do though?
Okay, so I'm about to throw not one, but 2 twists at you boys. So first twist. This person is now my husband.
Oh!
Shout out Riley. I love you so much. Second twist is I said no.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, at first.
Get out of there, Riley.
I was like, this is ridiculous. It's 2 weeks in, and you two are simps, and I love that. Like, he's a simp.
Shout out Riley.
And shout out to all the simps out there.
Can we get Riley on the pod next?
Yeah, we'll get Riley on.
Yeah, you got to get him on.
We'll have a simp sesh.
Yeah, simp sesh. But I was like, no, that's too soon. Blah, blah, blah. Playing all coy. And I was like, we'll give it a few more months. And then I kind of just was in the mindset of like, well, he kept going away to TAFE and asking me to house sit. And I was spending almost every night there anyway. And while he was away at TAFE.
That's so smart. It's like a soft launch to you moving in.
Yeah. He had given me, basically given me his car to use to go back and forth from work. Hi, Paul. Given me his Prado. Hi, Daddy. And he's away at TAFE and I'm house sitting. And I just thought like, oh, this is pretty nice. I've changed my mind. So without even consulting him, I got my stuff, I moved in, and then I texted him that night, and I was like, hey, I hope that offer still stands. I've moved in now. This was like a week later. So yeah, I was hard to get for a week, and then I bent to the pressure.
Wait, how much house sitting was involved in this 1 week?
Well, I was living there.
So this is week 3 though.
Yeah. Yeah, because he had to go away for a TAFE block, so he asked me to house sit. And
you made it sound like there was heaps of different house sitting opportunities that you kept coming over here and there.
Oh, well, no, that's a good point. Maybe it was just the one time. Look, lines are blurred, but anyway, I was house sitting and I just moved in.
Does he consider that like a huge win for him, like as in the house sit into the move-in plan? Does he say that was kind of his strat?
I think that Riley wasn't even being like that romantic or anything when he asked me to move in. He is a man of
practical nature,
and he's like, well, you're spending every night here. You're getting $200 a week taken out of your paycheck to live at the pub, so you can just move in here with me. It was more of like a nice guy move. He probably did not simp for me as hard back then as he does now. But yeah, so that's just Riley. He probably would be like, "Oh, anyone move in, it's fine." Yeah.
Honestly, I thought that your big call was going to be your stay in Australia or go back to America for love. That was easy. I was going to say that would probably be easy for Dos and I as well. Dos, you'd stay in a country for love, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, man, I've left the country for love.
Before I even had a partner, like the plan was to hopefully never go back to America. So that was the easiest decision of my life, I think. Stay in the country for love, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
get that
there you
visa.
go. That's Izzy with our big call for today. Thanks so much for coming on and sharing your story.
Thanks for having me. Dos, nice to meet you. And Dan, yeah, it's been great.
It's been
great. See you
It's
around.
been real. We'll give you a tour of the house in a second because we waffled so much earlier on. We're going to cut all the waffle from the end of the pod and probably just call it a wrap right here.
Yeah, and I reckon we cut some of the waffle from in the pod.
Yeah, we probably
To be
should as well.
honest.
I probably will. Anyway, as always, Road Guide on Instagram, on YouTube. Well, for Daniel Prosser on YouTube. Shout out me. That'll be the channel you find it on. Anywhere you get your pod streams or whatever, that's where you'll find us. And if you've got a big call, give us a DM. Jump on the pod. We'd love to have you on.
And Kangaroo Paw Kangaroo Paw Cottage on Instagram.
All right, we got to wrap this up.
Cut her off. We're out.